Yo, what's going on guys, it's Cynical and welcome back to another video. Today for you guys, I wanted to talk about the upcoming PlayStation Showcase that was announced by Sony last week that will be happening on September 9th at 1 PM PDT. We're currently a few days out, and this is going to be 2021's big, massive PlayStation event. It says right here over on the official PlayStation blog, the showcase will weigh in at around 40 minutes and include updates from PlayStation Studios and some of the industry's most imaginative developers for games releasing this holiday and beyond. So the major focus for this showcase is most certainly PlayStation 5. I'm excited for this, mainly because this year has been pretty quiet. I will say we've been treated pretty well for the launch year of the PS5. There's been some notable games that have released thus far, but it's to be expected that for the first year of a brand new system, it's generally on the down low in the sense of game releases and whatnot. Developers are currently hard at work creating new games for the new hardware. So yeah, I'm excited to see exactly what is in store for PS5 for, of course, the end of the year, as well as looking towards 2022, because 2022 is looking massively spicy for gaming. Now, it should be noted that this is a PlayStation showcase, not a PlayStation State of Play. We have previously received one other PlayStation Showcase last year in September, and it seems like PlayStation Showcase is now Sony's big PlayStation event. Of course, Sony have been skipping out E3 over the past few years, so it makes me think that perhaps every September going forward, we will receive a PlayStation Showcase, which will be Sony's annual big event where they step forward to announce and reveal exactly what they've been working on. This is a big deal. It's not a state of play, it's a PlayStation showcase, and especially with how many of the PlayStation staff have been hyping this event up over on Twitter, I'd say we're in for some bangers. So today I wanted to talk about my predictions towards the event, talk about the stuff that I think is going to happen, as well as talk about stuff that I would like to happen. So without further ado, let's just dive straight into it. First things first, I think that the major big poppin' moment for the PlayStation Showcase is most definitely going to be God of War 2. I think that the event will probably end off with God of War 2. That would be a really good way of ending the PlayStation Showcase. As we know, God of War 2 was originally meant to come out this year. It was slated for a 2021 release. We all knew that was never going to happen. I thought the exact same with Horizon Forbidden West as well. That was meant to come out this year and then of course got delayed, to no one's surprise. I personally believe that God of War 2 will likely be a 2023 release, with of course Horizon Forbidden West being the big release for 2022 in February. I don't know, it's totally possible that Sony could come out with Horizon Forbidden West at the start of 22 and then end off 22 in December with God of War 2. That would be incredible, but I'm super excited for this. I would say 99% this is going to happen. God of War 2018 was without a doubt one of the absolute best games come out of the PlayStation 4 era, so I'm super excited to see exactly what Santa Monica Studios have been cooking up with the next installment. Horizon Forbidden West, so without a doubt we'll likely see more Forbidden West gameplay. I would say from here on forward, Sony will probably start to ramp up with promotion for this game, considering that it is due to release in February of 2022. It wasn't too long ago that we actually saw some more gameplay at Gamescom, but I do feel as if there'll be another gameplay segment shown during the showcase. I do hope though that they don't spend too much time on Horizon Forbidden West showing it off, although this is Sony's next big major release. With the gameplay reveal that we got in June and then the recent gameplay from Gamescom, I feel like we have seen a fair amount of Forbidden West. So going forward, I think avoid long, lengthy 10-minute gameplay segments of showing off new things, and just show us like little 2-minute trailers or 3-minute trailers for it. I think that would suffice, but without a doubt, I'd say Forbidden West is gonna be there. So let's talk about Naughty Dog. I'm sure that during the showcase too, Naughty Dog will give an update on exactly what is next for them, and surely it should have something to do with The Last of Us. As we know, Naughty Dog are currently developing Factions 2, the multiplayer component for The Last of Us. So I would say it is likely that we'll probably get some kind of tease or maybe some gameplay or something towards Factions. As we also know though, throughout the sort of first half of this year, there was a rumor floating around that The Last of Us 1 will be receiving a full-blown remake. This naturally created a lot of controversy, as of course when you look at the first Last of Us game, I personally don't believe it's old enough to warrant a full-blown, from the ground up remake. While I absolutely adore the Last of Us series, again, I just feel like the time and effort towards creating a remade Last of Us could be used elsewhere. However though, still cool nonetheless, the first game is absolutely incredible, so in a funny sense, it will kind of be interesting to see it with a new coat of paint, but that being said, it's not like the game is severely outdated. It was a game that released at the very end of the PlayStation 3 cycle. So yeah, super confusing, but I think in regards to Naughty Dog, we'll likely see Factions 2, and if the Last of Us 1 remake rumor turns out to be correct, then it's very possible that this could be a holiday game that Sony will be pushing. Of course, I would go into anaphylactic shock if Naughty Dog stepped forward to reveal a reboot of, say, Jak and Daxter, or a continuation. We all know that's probably not gonna happen, and more so, it's likely that Naughty Dog will step forward to reveal what they have been working on, which is likely to be Factions 2. Let's talk a little bit about Square Enix. So, in regards to what I believe will happen at the PlayStation Showcase for Square Enix, first things first is Final Fantasy 16. Now, it has been confirmed that unfortunately Final Fantasy 16 will not be showing up at the Tokyo Game Show, which is due to happen at the end of September through to early October. Though of course, we do know that it has been mentioned by Square that we will be seeing more Final Fantasy 16 this year, back when it was revealed last year. The reveal for Final Fantasy 16 happened at last year's PlayStation Showcase in September, so it would kind of make sense if we got the next big slice of Final Fantasy 16 at this upcoming showcase. Get a new trailer or something, and then that way they promote and push that trailer for the Tokyo Game Show. That to me makes the most sense. But on top of Final Fantasy 16, Forspoken, I believe we will end up seeing Forspoken. It was really interesting to see that both Final Fantasy 16 as well as Forspoken weren't part of Square Enix's E3. These were the two games that I think most people were really hyped to see, and that in itself would have made Square Enix's E3 showcase all the more better. It was a little bit of a disaster. Stranger of Paradise was probably the coolest thing to come out, as well as, yeah, probably the Pixel remasters. But I would say Forspoken and Final Fantasy 16 will be Square Enix's big reveals for the PlayStation Showcase, just considering the ties that Final Fantasy 16 and Forspoken have to that of PlayStation. It would seem that both of these games will end up being timed exclusives that will release on PS5 first. I also believe that if Square Enix are really keen to get Forspoken out in 2022, they really need to do a good job of further promoting this game. I would say now start to pick up on the promotion sense, give us something new, flashy, big gameplay trailer thing at the PlayStation Showcase, and then maybe talk a little bit more about it at the upcoming Tokyo Game Show. The game looks simply incredible. I mean, it's a piece of eye candy for sure. It just needs a little bit more traction. I feel like more people need to know about it, how it works, what you're going to be doing in this game. So yeah, it would be cool to get a little bit of a lengthy type trailer at the PlayStation Showcase for Forspoken. But yes, I do believe we'll be seeing 16 and Forspoken. Returnal DLC, I would say, is quite likely to pop up considering the success of Housemarque's big PlayStation 5 release for this year. Returnal, as well at the same time, would have to be one of the bigger releases for this year, and due to the success, I would say that it definitely warrants some additional content. As we know, Housemarque were acquired not too long ago by PlayStation, so it wouldn't surprise me if currently right now Sony are pushing Housemarque to develop some extra content for Returnal. We know that the game ended up having 6 biomes total, so it would actually be kind of cool to get maybe 3 additional new biomes with a new story set or something for some additional content. But either way, I loved Returnal. Would be really cool to see some new content for it. The BLUEPOINT acquisition. So I'm assuming that we will probably get this at the PlayStation Showcase. This was kind of leaked not too long ago, back when Sony announced that Housemarque are now part of the PlayStation family. Unfortunately, I believe it was PlayStation Japan ended up tweeting out the wrong image that was meant to be "Welcome to the PlayStation family, Housemarque." Instead of Housemarque, it had BLUEPOINT, which of course kind of led everyone to believe, oh god, it's actually happening. Like, yeah, Sony have BLUEPOINT. It's pretty obvious at this point, and I'd say this announcement will end up happening at the showcase. They've done some incredible, if not some of the best remakes in the gaming industry when of course looking towards like Shadow of the Colossus or of course the recent Demon's Souls. It would definitely be a smart business move for Sony to acquire these guys. I do believe at the same time too, along with the acquisition announcement, if it does happen, maybe we'll get a tease on what perhaps BLUEPOINT have been working on. As it goes within the industry, there has been a lot of talk, there's been a lot of rumors that perhaps maybe BLUEPOINT are working on a Metal Gear Solid remake project, as this is one of PlayStation's big heavy hitters from way back when. And within the teaser trailer for the PlayStation showcase, a lot of people have been recently pointing out the gem that appears very briefly in the graphic right there, which could possibly point towards Diamond Dogs from Metal Gear Solid as a little bit of a tease or hint that yes, an MGS remake is coming. For me personally, this doesn't really do too much because I never dipped into Metal Gear Solid, but I know for the majority, this would be an absolutely mind-blowing announcement. So, BLUEPOINT acquisition, along with perhaps maybe a Metal Gear Solid remake announcement. Crash Bandicoot. So I kind of have a feeling that we may see the next slice of Crash Bandicoot. While yes, I would love it to be Spyro, we know it's very apparent that Activision have more eyes set on Crash Bandicoot than they do for Spyro the Dragon. A little bit unfortunate. I still am crossing my fingers that maybe next year we'll get that long-awaited Spyro 4. But because of the fact that this is the 25th anniversary for Crash Bandicoot, I would say it's likely that we will end up getting something to do with Crash again and not so much Spyro. Now, yes, of course, Crash Bandicoot is multi-platform now. It's on Xbox, it's on Nintendo Switch. But Crash does have a close relationship with PlayStation. The announcement of the Insane Trilogy happened at a PlayStation E3 conference. I don't think it's too out of the realm of possibility for a Crash announcement to happen at PlayStation just due to that relationship. By the way, though, if we do get a Crash announcement, I would lean more towards it being remastered games than a brand new game, considering that we've only just recently received Crash 4. That, or of course, Crash 4 DLC. I also find it quite suspicious that the Crash Bandicoot Twitter account has randomly been tweeting out PlayStation-related tweets recently, so I can't help but feel that a Crash Bandicoot announcement might be imminent. So that right there is everything I believe that will probably happen at the PlayStation showcase. Let's talk about the stuff that probably won't happen, but I would love it to happen. Spider-Man 2. I don't think it's too out of the realm of possibility for a Spider-Man 2 little teaser thing to show up, though, because of the fact that like Insomniac have just been so hard at work recently with Rift Apart this year, as well as Miles Morales last year. Are we really going to see a little tease or something towards Spider-Man 2? I don't know, man, but again, like a little logo or something. Maybe Insomniac will pull like a Kingdom Hearts 3 thing where it's, yeah, just the logo and like in development. But honestly, I despise developers doing that. Like, announce your game close to that of the actual release and not like 8 years out. But yeah, I would lean more towards Spider-Man 2's reveal not happening, to be honest, just because of how many heavy hitters will likely be there with like God of War and Horizon. I want to quickly add though that there have been some rumors floating around suggesting that Insomniac Games are going to be remastering Resistance 1 and 2. This would be a really cool announcement and one that would actually make sense considering Resistance never received a re-release for PlayStation 4. This was one of course, Insomniac's titles that they were developing throughout the PlayStation 3 era alongside Ratchet and Clank, and it's a fantastic first-person shooter series. I honestly don't know why it hasn't been re-released yet. This would make a little bit more sense than Spider-Man 2. It's just simple remasters, and it's something that's needed to happen for quite some time. Speaking about Insomniac re-releases as well, I would absolutely love to see the Ratchet and Clank PlayStation 3 series remastered for PS4 and PlayStation 5. These games desperately need to be remastered considering the recent release of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. For many people, Rift Apart will be their very first Ratchet and Clank game, so I think it's important to at least bring those older PlayStation 3 games back into relevance so that we don't actually have to pull out our PlayStation 3 every single time you want to play that future series.
Bloodborne Remastered.
Honestly speaking, even if God of War 2 does pop up, if a Bloodborne remaster pops up, that right there instantly is going to be the highlight of the show. This would have to be one of the most highly anticipated, most wanted remasters to ever happen. And it's just so interesting that Sony continues to hold off from doing anything with Bloodborne. I would absolutely nut though, like if BLUEPOINT's new game wasn't so much Metal Gear Solid and was rather a Bloodborne remake, but then that goes back to the whole thing. The game doesn't need to be remade. It came out 2015. Can you just give us a 60 FPS remaster, please? Honestly, like, unless there was a new Kingdom Hearts announcement, this would be the most hyped thing for me to come out of the PlayStation Showcase if it were to happen. My god. And if Sony do want a massive hit for the holiday season, the Bloodborne remaster would be the absolute perfect thing. Though I do feel as if The Last of Us 1 remake is a real thing, that'll probably be Sony's big holiday game. Infamous and Sly. So, yeah, there's been some interesting rumors surrounding actually both of these IPs recently. In regards to the claims towards Infamous and Sly, don't get overly too excited. In regards to Sly, this was a claim made on 4chan where essentially someone's saying that, hey, yeah, there's perhaps maybe a new Sly in development. The same sort of claim was also put over on Twitter for Infamous as well. Now, in regards to Sly, I would absolutely love to see Sly come back. I think it's an IP that Sony should revive to see how well it would perform in this current day and age. I think there's a lot of potential there. Though that being said, I don't think that Sucker Punch would pick Sly back up again. While that would be preferable, I would say that Sony would probably get in contact with Sanzaru once again to create the next Sly game, Sly 5, as it's heavily hinted at the end of Sly 4 that there is space there for a sequel. Though of course we know that Sanzaru stopped working on Sly after Thieves in Time to then work on Sonic Boom. Very unfortunate. It's totally possible that Sony could have recontacted Sanzaru. What do you think about creating another Sly game? Now, Infamous, I can't see Sucker Punch going through and announcing a new Infamous game straight after Ghosts of Tsushima last year and the recent Director's Cut version. Though what I could see happening is the possibility of an Infamous remastered pack. This is something that blew my mind for PS4 not receiving Infamous 1, 2, Festival of Blood remastered. So yeah, a remastered pack for like PS4, PS5 would be absolutely fantastic. It's annoying having to whip out your PlayStation 3 to play the Infamous series. So yeah, please make the ease of access easier. Put it on the PS5 and PS4. A similar thing that I'd like to see as well is PlayStation 2 games revived. Again, this is a PlayStation 5 focused showcase as it seems, but the PS2 on PlayStation 4 service that Sony were doing a few years back started off okay, and it just seems like Sony gave up on it. So to see this revived, to see Sony really pushing more PlayStation 2 games onto the PlayStation Store would be nice to see. I don't think that will happen at all. Again, this is a PS5 focus showcase, but I'm crossing my fingers. And I thought I'd end it off with Kingdom Hearts because we've got to talk about Kingdom Hearts, right? What's the possibility of something Kingdom Hearts related showing up at this PlayStation Showcase? Again, as my opinion stands, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to receive something related to Kingdom Hearts this year for what the next project will be even though Tetsuya Nomura has said that Square Enix are taking a break from the Kingdom Hearts series for 2021. However, I don't see it happening at the PlayStation Showcase, considering that I think for Square Enix, the big focus points for them will be Final Fantasy 16 and Forspoken. To also add Kingdom Hearts in there, I think is just a little bit too much, though yes, I would love to see it, I just don't think it's gonna happen. I think it's more likely that you'd see some sort of tease thing come out of the Tokyo Game Show, but even then, I'm a little bit unsure. At this stage, if we are going to receive any sort of Kingdom Hearts title tease, it will probably be at Tokyo Game Show, though unsure, or of course the Game Awards right at the end of the year. To me, the Game Awards probably makes the most sense, ends the year off with a Kingdom Hearts title tease to say that the 20th anniversary is coming next year and more will be revealed next year. So that right there is my PlayStation Showcase predictions, hopes, and what I think will get shown at the event. I'm really excited for this because PlayStation have been honestly pretty quiet this year. The state of plays have been just kind of fine, I guess. The Horizon Forbidden West focused one was cool, but we really haven't had too much from Sony throughout this year, so it's going to be a nice breath of fresh air to see exactly what their studios have been working on. However, guys, in the comment section down below, let me know your thoughts and opinions towards the PlayStation Showcase. What do you think we will be seeing, and what do you want to see? I would love to know. However, guys, I'm Cynical. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.